One sec. We should be starting again now. Alright, we should be starting now. Alright, let me reset secondary device there. Alright, hello and welcome back to some more Minecraft Episodes Golden Age, episode 1099 I think we're on now. That's a lot of episodes now, I tell you. We're almost at 1100. Not bad. And I just made the same mistake again. We're going to be putting in bricks for the lower side of these buildings, so we'll have to gather up some more clay soon. But what we're working on here today is going to be a stables. My brain was trying to get the word out there, and I've just done the exact same thing that I was trying to avoid. You know what? I could make it look nicer, like it's planned. Bam. I'm not going to expand it by one more block to try and fix this problem. I'm not doing, you know... You know what, that's actually not too bad, to be honest. That is not too bad, to be honest. I do feel like I could do something unique with the roof here. So that is definitely something I will keep in mind. I will do a double window over here. Doesn't really make sense. Why should I give the horses, you know, such a majestic view? I'm just joking. Alright. So, there we go. Place that there. And I'll place these here. And these here. Yeah, that is not looking too bad at all. Now we just need to sort out the inside. I knew I would not have enough. I'm trying to think of, like, how can I solve this issue and save some blocks. I'm one block short. If I had just one more block, it would sort this entire thing out. But I need 8. I could make some pink. We'll have to see what we actually have that I can do. I actually do have white. Alright. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there. And now I need to find a crafting table. Oh, crafting table. Wow. Previous me thought of everything, I tell you. I thought ahead. That's what I did. I thought ahead. Alright. So, let us go and... You know what? I could probably just fill in the last of this, shouldn't I? Oh wait, I'm a little bit short. Short by one more block. Again. Alright, I do have enough in the pink department. All I just need is 8 again. And... there we go. I can put that in there too. Alright. So, let us go and head on back over here. This is probably the most pink terracotta put into the house. You know what, never mind. There was that house, I put a lot more terracotta into that. But the most terracotta place in a line like this. And just for that one singular block. Alright. That is actually not looking too bad at all. I can sort out the windows here now. I do have some glass panes left over. And we're going to go and do a task that I should have done ages ago. And that is collect more clay, because I am way behind on my clay that I need for many... You know what? I missed these 2 bits here. I said, you know what, that's us done with this, but no, I wasn't done with it. Turns out I missed this bit here, and I missed that bit. I probably missed the bits over here. No, I did that. Did you see that there? Or was that just something in real life falling? You know what, I'm not sure. I saw something falling over there. I think it was just a fly flying in front of my... Yeah. This is one pesky little fly, I tell you. It likes to run up your nose. And it's the most annoying thing ever. That actually looks quite nice. I'm actually thinking about doing a kinda, what do you call it, rivety roof. We could do that with this build. It's not the worst idea. Alright. Let me kinda make a little tiny bit up here. And we'll probably extend it by one more block, to be honest. And then I may actually just do something that I did not do with the other houses, and that is make a beam going across. I'm not going to waste much more terracotta on this, as this is 4 horses, and you know what, probably adding more support like this is probably better built than the houses are, to be honest. I feel like if I had that realistic block falling mod, these houses would have crumbled ages ago. way long ago. Alright, and you know what, I'm not going to waste blocks with the middle. We can go like that, and we'll grab some wood. That's what we'll do. Grab some wood. Also put the glass back in the backpack. And I'll put that and that and that and that there. Now, I am building these roofs out of acacia, but I am running very low on acacia. So, we'll have to rivet something together. I do kind of feel like I should go with the other angle. Sideways would be nice. It would be, right? Really annoying then. I am going to need to go further down. That's what I need to do. So I'll break this. And kind of just make it go this direction then. I can go like that. Wrong backpack I saw. I had the other backpacks there. There we go. Alright. You know what, I might as well just put these together. I'm gonna be needing a lot from different stuff. I seen what I did there. Seen what I did there. How could I? How could I make that mistake? Alright. So, what we are going to do here is probably do a point roof. Yeah, I'm gonna need to go from the bottom and do that. This is when we do a point coming out like that. And yeah, that's actually not looking too bad. It looks a lot better once it's fully constructed and I keep falling. We'll do that there. And I can start to actually get rid of some of this actually. And we can get the acacia. And we go like this. Probably be more expensive if I did it all the way along. At the bottom. And just go like that. Yeah, that does not actually look that bad. That does not actually look that bad. I might add some window shutters, to be honest. Make it look a little bit nicer. Alright. Now this is going to be a little bit problematic because I am running low on our acacia. We may actually just have to put one acacia back and use the rest of it. Alright. So what we are working here is going to be a point roof. And that means we have to go like this. One acacia there, one acacia there, one acacia there. Fall down and grab those blocks. Let's have a looky at that. Yeah, that's actually not looking too bad. We'll just do that all the way along. That's not what I needed, and grab the crafting table because we're gonna need the crafting table here to make some of these. And go like that. And go like that. Now we grab these. I could do something like this, similar to our honeycomb technique. Oops, that is a little bit of a misclick there. Sometimes my mouse likes to almost die and do that, you know, one thing. And it's really annoying, I tell you. It's really annoying. And do I have any jungle wood slabs left over? No, no. Got to make some fresh ones? Alright. I'm kind of just combining techniques over here to kind of, you know, lessen the load on our acacia. Alright, so we have that there. And go like that. That is in the wrong spot. And I've fallen. But I could probably... yeah, I've done that side. Yeah, that's actually not looking too bad, to be honest. It's a little bit rough around the edges, but it shall do. It shall do. Alright. So... this is the edging, so... that to be... what do we do here? We'll just go around the rim. And place all of these. I could do something a little bit more illustrious here, making it look a little bit nicer, more eloquent. But I do not want to risk damaging this thing a little bit too much. Plus I need the acacia wood. It's probably going to be the most jungliest of the, you know, bunch. I don't want to head back to the acacia and grab more acacia than now. Yes, we have to go and grab clay. Also, what time of it though? Yeah, we're still doing alright. So I'll finish off this roof here. I'll grab some of the acacia. That should be enough to finish off this roof actually. And I'm gonna need a little bit of a booster seat here. Place that there. And place this here. I could make the roof look a little bit nicer. I did say about doing that idea previously. About having an elevated kind of roof here. That is something that we could do. That is acacia fallen there. Oops. I'm going to grab that one acacia. I shall make the fall for that one acacia. I was wondering why my mouse was a little bit clunky there. It went off the mouse pad. Alright, so let's go and place this acacia here. We're actually not looking too bad here on time and how much progress we made. So, let me place that there. I think we should have enough to do some of this, but I'm very worried that we might not. I'm very worried that we might not. Even with doing these tiny bits here, it's looking like it might not be enough. So it might have to be like we have to put this on hold. Well, we do actually have to go and do the other thing, that being gather up some of the clay for these houses. I say some of the clay because it's probably got to be a lot of clay, so I might have to make a few runs. But that would not be the first time that I've had to do that. Alright, do that. And we are now out of acacia. Apart from that, I could, you know what, I might as well. I see the potential. I see the potential. If I do this, and then grab this, and then do this, and then do that. Put that back in there. Messed up there a little bit. I should possibly, maybe, have enough to finish it. No, we're not gonna have enough to finish it. I saw I was being, you know, smart there. But each of these are 8, and I have 7. I could possibly finish it, but it would probably be another episode's journey. Grab our regular backpack. Now, what kind of glass are you? Ah, perfect. I want to have some open sky lighting for these horses. I'm thinking humanely. I saw that was a skeleton there for a second. It matched so much up like a skeleton. And I thought, oh no, a skeleton has gone up here. But no, it was not a skeleton. I am just a fool. Alright. So, let me just light that up now. It's not looking too bad. It is kind of looking a little bit bad, to be honest. I do kind of feel like that does need a little bit more spice to it. Kind of just go in there, all the way, and then probably breaking these two right here. Yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. It also looks very off-putting that it's just slowing. So, how about, let me check the time for this episode. We are at 17 minutes. That should be plenty of time to go and make ourselves useful by going and grabbing some clay. Sorry, I had to take a big deep breath there. Alright, so let us go and make our way there. It's a little bit slow, that's what I will say. A little bit slow. I did actually have a boat on me, but I think I placed down those boats and never picked them up. And also, I do want to finish off that bridge up there on that hill. I want to finish off the mine as well. We have so many tiny little bits that we need to finish, and then the big stuff that we need to finish as well. Remove some of that, you know, scaffold up there. Yeah, we don't have a lot to do, it's just all these tiny little things. And there's one thing that I will always say. If you have tiny things just scattered around your world, you'll never be out of a job. And that is the problem here. We're always got a job here. It is terrible. I have so many little things to work on. Like the mine. Mine overseer. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry I've not come into work, you know, the last while. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry I've not come into work, you know, the last while. I know I should have been down in the mines ages ago. But, you know, I've just been too busy working on everything else. Alright. I could actually just make it a little bit faster on us by sending us over there. Feel the power of magical abilities being the map. Alright. So, hello there, doggo. How's it going? What's your name again? I don't think you had a name. That one over there has a name. Just shove some of this in here. I have 17 dandelions on me. 17 dandelions. That is a lot of dandelions. If I'm being honest. That is a lot of dandelions. Alright. So, let's actually go on a little bit of a quest. You're a bit too wounded to join me. I was actually going to invite you. I know. I was going to invite you, but you're a bit injured. So I was just checking out that there. It's been forever since I last was out here. Feels like an entirely different place after not being in this area for that long. I think we played this while I had my previous computer, this area. Then we upgraded this place. I do really like this place. It's looking rough now. I really like the modded, you know, netherwood for this build. If anyone has any ideas on how to spruce this up a little bit, let me know. I think I might add some of that, you know, trimming stuff that we've been doing. Put some slabs under these. Kind of make it look a little bit more thick and a little bit more nicer, to be honest. And then probably add a window up there. Round off this bit, you know, some side bits. And slab underneath probably. Make that go out a little bit further. Yeah, a lot of different stuff, but we better not get into that now. Do I have a shovel for this? Well, I minded using my, you know, silk touch before. I accidentally shoved my silk touch in there. So we'll do it again. And let us grab all of this perfectly placed here clay. I might as well make a little bit of a journey to go over to the, what do you call it, Nether again. Because I really do need to go to the Nether and gather up more glowstone. The problem is I really need to empty out a lot of the chunks in the Nether. Because a lot of them are modded, but a lot of them are useless. They're really just taking up memory for no reason. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say. Hidden clay, I tell you. Hidden clay. There we go. We almost got a stack already. We're not doing too bad, gang. We're not doing too bad at all. Apart from getting out of this hole that's taken forever. I do actually need to eat some rotten flesh, so we'll do that. I thought I'd went down this entire area and gotten all the clay. I guess I must have done that when I was, what do you call it? It must have been over here then, yeah. I think that is, because that's where we got wall, I'm pretty sure. Wall was down here? Or was wall up there? No, wall, yeah, wall was here. Because I had to take wall through a big chunk of the landscape. I think it was this bit here. We mined a hole going through all of this, and then we took the river going back home. I'm pretty sure. Either I'm misremembering what river it is. We have that many rivers. And I've worked on a lot of those rivers. Alright, is there any clay around here? I don't see any. Let me place this here. There's some more clay there. Clay seems to have become, you know, such a popular thing of me using it now. I tell you, I used to never use clay at all. There was, you know, no chance I would use clay because it takes too long to, you know, get like it is now. And plus, there was just really no point of gathering up clay. If I could make concrete, you know, it's probably easier than, you know, doing bricks. That's what I'm gonna say. You waste more fuel on singy clay into making them bricks than you do getting all the stuff for making concrete. It's very weird that, to be honest. Sorry, you know, focusing on doing the singing at the same time as speaking. And that is really not my strong suit. So, you know, we stream and we record these, so... Kinda the wrong profession to go into when you have that problem. Alright, so let us go and break all of these. I'm breaking so many blocks I don't mean to break. There's so much clay down here. There we go. How much clay is that so far? That is a good chunk, to be honest. That is a good chunk, to be very honest. Almost 3 stacks. Not too bad. I think we've gone at least 7 or 8 stacks for the last, you know, times that we've done this. So it's not the largest stack of clay, but you know what? I will accept any clay that we can get. Whenever I talk about, like, you know, clay in game, it always reminds me of Clay, the person that we used to play with. Who I will say had really bad anger issues. Like, when I look back at some of the memories, you know, of playing together, he always really got mad. And then I didn't really, you know, get a better friend after that with Frost. Master Mist. Frost. Quiet. You know what, I kind of remember the second, you know, name that they had. They kept changing their names every once in a while. And now they're Granddaddy Frost. Like, you know, I didn't really trade up to a better friend, you know. Well, not really trade him, but, you know, build up to a better friend. I lost Clay to, you know, we had an anger dispute. That was more of him letting his anger issue get a hold of him. I was just playing around with him and then, you know, he got super mad. It's when I was opening the shulkers. But I think he was actually stealing. So when he, you know, got admin to come over, he kind of just self-reported himself by accident. And we were just exploring all these, you know, places while he was just taking some stuff out of the chests. I just wanted to find abandoned bases. It's always fascinating seeing how people from the past used to work. And then when we had Master Mist, you know, it basically started off with me just talking to him every once in a while, and then it wasn't that bad. He was just very unresponsive. And when we did stuff like, you know, playing games together, they weren't bad. It's hard to describe. I'm trying to remember back to the times that we actually played, and it's like so foggy. I can remember Clay times better. When I think about to Master Mist times, it's kind of more of a blur, if I'm being honest. They just weren't that rememberable. Let's see. But the reason why I stopped being friends with Master Mist, Granddaddy Frost, was actually, it wasn't even me who stopped being friends with them. It was them who just, you know, blocked me out of the blue, blocked everyone that they knew before, even banned a bunch of people from their Discord server, so it was just this one person and them, and then they kind of just started off doing their own stuff, which is kind of understandable. Their server was very, how would you describe it, not the best folk, if I'm being honest. They were not the best. That's the best I could describe it. They were really insufferable group. But that's kind of like, you know, who they surrounded themselves with, you know, when it came to that. Let me just fix this little bit of landscape here. As I always say, if you're building like a fandom, put people that, you know, would enjoy your stuff that you make normally, instead of creating like a fake persona. I also later found out that they had a, what do you call it, chest condition, that their chest was inverted. But, you know, they never said that to me, so I don't know if that's true or not, so it was always like a weird thing. Always a weird thing, that. Oh, hello there, it's the man. Sorry, I got too busy, you know, speaking that I forgot to look at chat. Do apologize. But it's like all these little, you know, points of like friendships, I tell you, that really made the channel, I would say. Really made the channel. Clay SMP. I actually do plan on returning back to the world of Clay SMP, because I feel basically abused by both parties, really. Because, well, it wasn't really Clay's fault. Clay had anger issues, and Singies, being that other group, were really bad in stealing stuff from Clay without asking. So I kinda, you know, singing out at Clay for getting upset when it wasn't really their fault for getting upset at that one, because, you know, they were stealing from them. This is all in Minecraft SMP, you know, Clay SMP. So it was kinda, you know, their fault. That was a group. They were the bad ones in that one. So I kinda feel bad for that. And then we had Clay SMP 2.0. Wasn't the worst. We tried to start Clay SMP 3.0, but I kinda died out because Clay's anger issues were getting quite bad on him. But you know, he was working in a, what you call it, seafood taco restaurant. And those are normally, you know, very high maintenance. So it's kinda understandable. But going back to the, you know, thing of Clay SMP 1. It ended because of that. I do kind of wish that I continued on it, to be honest. See what direction it could have went in. Because it kind of just ended after I left. And then I managed to get the seed from Singy, but I gave it to other people because, you know, I thought, you know, Clay was a bad guy, but then it wasn't Clay that was a bad guy, it was the people that were the bad guys. And they weren't really good people, to be honest. I got fooled. That's what I did, I got fooled. So then they started the free SMP on the Clay SMP, you know, thingy. Which they... I really hate that they used the, what do you call it, Singy. The schematic mod. Because they started building all these houses that area. But it was like no creativity, that's what I would say. They built a big tower and there was no creativity after that. I did invite them on to Clay SMP 2.0, which was a terrible, you know, idea. Because it just ended up in more conflict. But I kinda just wanted to extend the life of the server, but I kinda just, you know, accelerated it. Because they were insufferable. And not really the best to keep. Let's see. I do look back at certain like moments like that, like I kinda wish I was more knowledgeable beforehand, before ending up in any of that. But one thing I will say, Clay ghosted me so many times after that, you know. Like, I was always there for him, and then he just kept ghosting me. And that ghosting, you know, was basically like, you know, the end of our friendship. Because every time we planned, oh, you know, we'll play this together, he ghosted me. Constantly. But, eventually, I thought it was Clay there. Not the person Clay, but the block of Clay. It was kind of just... I don't know how to describe it. It was just a terrible time altogether. It was what made the channel, but it was kind of like, you know, annoying. That's what I will say. I do kind of miss Clay. They weren't like a bad person, they just had anger issues. And they had a problem ghosting, that's one of their issues. Like, I was always being there for him, and then, you know, ghosted me. That many times, but planned to play. And that, you know, that just rubs me the wrong way, because, you know, I was always there for him, and then, you know, he was just never there for when we wanted to play. We'd plan out, like, the date and all that, and... it was just super annoying. It was just super annoying. Send them flying. Alright, I'm actually running out of room for this clay now. Shove them in here then now. We've gotten quite a sizable amount of clay, but I will probably go further and grab some more clay. What else could we talk about? B3 SMP, that was a, you know, cluster of a terrible time, if I'm being honest. I will say, I really hated how they would take inspiration from like Dream SMP that was going on at the time. That kind of was like the same problem that happened with Orange SMP. They were trying to compete with, you know, Dream SMP, but it was kind of like the, you know, wrong thing to do at the time, I would say. Instead of creating something, you know, unique to their server, they were basically trying to copy, you know, what was going on with Dream SMP at the time. You could tell how long ago that was, you know. 2020, you know, 2021 time. Well, I think it was just 2020. That's a level 2 superior, well, not superior, scrapper. Efficiency 3, not bad actually, that is a decent book. And put that in there. We can just use this as a snack on the way. Just gets it out of my inventory. Alright. I can't believe how many SMPs I've been in. And there's only like a handful that have actually been like genuinely nice. Like Bibu SMP, that was a terrible time. The thing is, I wanted to build a wall so I could build a nice, you know, medieval place. I actually do have some, what you call old references that I'd actually planned for all of that. I was going to build towers and all that. I was really going with a medieval feel. And I really did want to do those medieval builds. I think I tried to do some in Jungle Paradise of these, but they kind of just ended up scrapped permanently, if I'm being honest. And a lot of them are still shelved somewhere in a file somewhere. It's kind of sad that it basically was a border dispute. They wanted me to go further away and further away and further away. Which didn't really matter in the end. When they took down the same hill, they would have probably asked me to move, you know, even further away. If I'm being honest. They would have probably just asked me to move further away. Like, I wanted to build a nice medieval place, you know, I even had a little checkpoint, you know, for joining the place. It was a really nice, you know, idea. Don't think it would have been, you know, as good as, you know, some of the builds I'm doing now. As they, you know, have more expertise in them. But I would have, you know, done a decent job, I would say. It's just that border dispute, and then I kept moving the border, you know. Moving the border, I rebuilt the border in the same spot a few times. Because, you know, there was not really any clear communication. And then I moved the border again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And it became insufferable. Like, moving the border like 4 times, you know. By that point, you're kind of just, you know, singing by that point. Being annoying. They wanted me to go behind the hill that I had planned to do a build on. That was actually supposed to be the main build of the entire place. But then that didn't happen, you know. And then we kind of just went on a little bit of a, you know, singy because my place got burnt down, so I burnt down their place, and then, you know, kind of just went back and forth, and then the server died. After I left. It's kind of the curse I hold. Every server that I, you know, join, if I leave, like, you know, halfway through or at the end of it, it normally just dies out. When I mean at the end of it, like, you know, being on it for, you know, some time, and then it killed the fish. I've been chopping down trees here. Must have been... Oh, this is the oak forest area that I was chopping down so long ago. That was such a long time ago. We're actually way over this episode's time now. I've just been going through nostalgic, you know, talks. A lot of you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But these were just Minecraft SMPs and friends I've had a long time ago now. A lot of these, you know... I think I've not been friends with, you know, Clay for like 2 years now. It's been that long now. It's been that long now. It's been like 2 years. Probably 3 years about now. Well, 3 years soon. Cracks me up that. Cracks me up that. Just does not feel like that long ago. Feels like it was yesterday. A lot of these adventures. Like Simbacraft SMP, you know, I had the idea of doing these lava casts. The reason why I was building these lava casts, I tell you, is I was planning to do builds on top of them. But the server was kind of dying out at that point. No one was playing on it, you know. It was dead. They were trying to pump life into it and, you know, it was dead. It was basically beating a dead horse. I'm sorry to say that, but that is basically that server. So even if I did anything like interesting, I tell you, it would have not really gotten that much use. The only sad thing about that server, I would say, is Greybeard not uploading as much anymore, or at all. That's like my only sad part about that server, is I kind of wish Greybeard would have, you know, uploaded more afterwards. Feel bad for Greybeard, you know, he's such a nice guy. He has a family and all that, you know. My bridge, my African bridge style, I thought that was good, but then I got dissed by their child. That was a good It was not good. Looking back at it, it's not good. But I tried my best to try and replicate, you know, what I'd seen. If I did it today, I would probably do it more unique, because there's a lot more building blocks now that would actually help with the colour yellow. Well, more like the hay colour. Because, you know, in Minecraft now, if I search up hay, there is only one type of hay. And it's a certain type of yellow that you just cannot get anywhere else. And that is really the problem. Also, there are squids here. I should really kill the squids. Squids are a almost extinct species. They were extinct before and then they came back, because I solved the issue of why they were not spawning. I also have calamari now. I might actually save that for later on. And I'll put that in the backpack. 5 now. Not bad. There's a lot of squids over there. I should really be ending the episode for today, but here I am. Continuing. I'm terrible, aren't I? Terrible. I don't know when to quit. There we go. And we got 6 squids that I can turn into ink sacks. That's 12 ink sacks. 12 ink sacks, you know. Feels like I would have just harvested it from God, you know, back in the day. That's how, you know, rare it was. Alright. Well, you know what? This is a nice little patch to end off this episode here. This is the end of episode 1099. So, hopefully you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, stay safe, not possible. This was just because advice is very important. Everybody stay safe, bye bye.